I said last week that I wanted to kind of keep the season in mind, keep Christmas in mind as far as possible. But I'm not naive enough to think that I can make it all about carol singing and mince pies, not through these weeks, months and years through which we're living. But I can certainly say, it's the season of Advent now, throughout December. Advent means the coming, the imminent arrival of, and it does feel to me, and has for a while, like something is coming. Change, some significant change in perspective. And I think the something that's coming might be the undeniable revelation of the mindset of what I characterise as the anti-human globalists who've been working for so long to make life hard and so miserable for so many. More and more people are talking also about apocalypse, which is a word that's kind of broadly misunderstood in many ways. Ultimately, etymologically, apocalypse is, it's from a Greek verb, and it means to take the cover off, to reveal and to expose. And I think, I'm certain that for good or ill, during next year, during 2024, the truth of it all will no longer be hidden from us. Occult, that's another word that's misunderstood. That just means out of sight, hidden. Doesn't have magical connotations. It just means hidden. But I think that which has been hidden from us will be hidden from us no longer, because I don't think it'll be possible to keep so much hidden. It'll be too obvious if it isn't already obvious. Next year, 2024, is going to be a big one. There's a presidential election in the United States of America. That makes it big all on its own. And this time out, the American people are being prepared for an event like no other. Supporters of the Democrat Party are being told in no uncertain terms that it's Joe Biden or nothing. No other candidate is contemplated or offered, and perhaps none is to be tolerated. In the meantime, all efforts are made by the Democrats to put in jail, to put behind bars, the Republican they fear and loathe most of all, which is Donald Trump. And it makes for a truly bizarre spectacle, the like of which, as I say, we have not seen before. And all of it, apparently, yes, that's what we're told, all of the suppression and indicting of Trump and the censorship and the silencing of information inconvenient to the powers that be, all of that and more besides is being done in the name of saving democracy itself. Well, thank you very much. Suppressing to save democracy is like having sex to preserve virginity. It's a ludicrous concept. Joe Biden appears, severely compromised cognitively, to put it kindly. Many critics say that he's simply senile. He has corruption allegations all over him like a cheap suit, has had for years. His son, Hunter Biden, he of the crack cocaine and the prostitutes and the bungs and the kickbacks, hangs around Joe Biden's neck like an albatross. The Democrat attack on Trump grows ever more hysterical. This week, he's being called a dictator. He's being described as bad or worse than Hitler and Mussolini combined, which seems strange to say, given that he didn't actually invade anywhere or launch any attacks on anyone while he was president, most unusually for an American president. It's not even novel anymore to say that the globalist plan was supposed to have seen 8 years of Barack Obama, which happened, followed immediately by 8 years of Hillary Clinton, which didn't happen. That would have given the globalists and the warmongers time to finish the job. But then, Trump. Donald J. Trump in the White House was not supposed to happen, and so all hell was let loose. Here in the UK, Brexit was not supposed to happen, but both did, Trump and Brexit, in the same year, 2016. So 2024 is going to be a bumpy road. Here in the UK, we have the Uni Party to contend with, Conservative and Labour, as two desiccated testicles taking up space in the same saggy scrotum. Neither has anything left to give. No juice at all. We have our own election looming soon enough, and the fact is that most of the electorate simply don't care. Most of the electorate, or vast swathes anyway, are finally persuaded that it makes no difference if they vote, who they vote for, dumb or dumber, bad or worse. Either option, well, a guarantee of more misery for more people, as the politicians, so-called, faithfully do the bidding of the unelected, unaccountable bureaucrats of the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization and the rest of the entities known to us by acronyms, and the Bank for International Settlements that takes control of everybody's money. The world's money, the flow of money around the world, is all controlled out of Basel in Switzerland. There's some excited talk of voting for independent candidates, but I just don't see it. I would say politics is a dead parrot. It has ceased to be. One of the central problems for the globalists is that fewer and fewer people believe the lies in the compliant media anymore. The compliant media that the globalists pay for. So whatever they bring out next, or whatever they're contemplating bringing out next, cyber attack by China maybe, or airborne Ebola, or another terrorist atrocity, or an assassination maybe of some or other troublesome character. Whatever happens next, too many people like me, will look on at the official explanation and the hand-wringing and the confected horror and say, aye, right, there just won't be anything left in the bank account of belief. Nobody believes it anymore, or not enough that matter. The Democrats in the United States call Trump a fascist, while real fascism is all around us in the form of Klaus Schwab's stakeholder capitalism, he of the World Economic Forum. And stakeholder capitalism is actual fascism, by which I mean the power and the decision-making are snatched away from the people of nation-states and gifted in their entirety to boardrooms and bankers. That's who runs the world now, not us. All across Europe and elsewhere, there are so-called populist movements on the rise. Populist, which just means of the people, and should be a wholesome expression. Populist has been made a dirty word. It's an insult. It's just another way of saying that anyone interested in seeing the people have a say in the running of their countries, belong in Hillary Clinton's basket of deplorables. Democracy is dead. Certainly dead. But in recent times, I've been wondering at the extent to which we ever really had democracy. I wonder if we weren't just gulled into thinking we were making choices between apparently competing ideologies. I wonder if that game ever really mattered. I wonder if it was just an illusion, a mirage, a sweet treat for the masses, while the power lay and lies where it always has and does, in the hands of a narrow group. Call them what you will. It changes down through the centuries. Aristocrats, oligarchs, crime families, whatever. I look back at World War II and I wonder just exactly who won and who lost. All those Nazis collected by the United States in Operation Paperclip and just transplanted to the United States in their thousands. where they took up positions of authority and power in the institutions, in academia, then in politics. We were told in The Usual Suspects that the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was persuading the world he didn't exist. But I ask, did the Nazis and the rest of the fascists ever really lose? Or did they just persuade the world they didn't exist? And now, Advent, we're at a wondrous and dangerous crossroads in history. The beast, the globalists, are pointing one way, leading one way. Anti-human, anti-life itself, certainly anti-freedom, anti-people. And in the other direction, down the other road, are those that love their families, love their children, love life and all of life's promise and potential. That's the separation now. That's the choice. For years now, I'm sure I've said this before. I've said that I feel like I'm falling. It's that sensation of weightlessness that strikes when you're in a car and it goes quickly and unexpectedly over a humpback bridge and your stomach flips. I feel that the world of before fell out from beneath my feet 2 or 3 years ago, and that I've been falling through space ever since, never finding my way never landing on solid ground. At the heart of the matter is the revelation that has already happened or shortly will. The mask is off. The wearers of the mask, the erstwhile wearers of the mask, seem not to care that we can see them now, and see who they are, and see what they're about. They know we know they're lying. But that's the point. We're supposed to know. And I would say they thought they had us. They called for lockdown. They rolled the dice and called for lockdown and a great reset, and surely could hardly believe their eyes when so much of the world did as it was told, went home and shut the doors. So they thought they had us, and they got giddy, they got drunk with the power and the potential. And so on it came then. They got all their toys out the box at that point. War, net zero, climate crisis, more war, men can be women, women can be men, it's right to change the sex of children, it's right to take away people's money, people's freedom, people's rights. That's what they thought. That's what they thought they could do. That's what they tried to do. That's what they started doing. But in fact, they overlooked and were ultimately taken by surprise by too many of us. And here we are, looking them straight in the eye, ready to win the ultimate game of chicken. The fact is, the globalist warmongers, the anti-human cabal, have blinked first. We haven't got them down yet, but they're wounded and they're exposed as never before. But a wounded predator, a wounded lion, is the most dangerous when it's in its death throes. It's as it fights to the end that it's capable of doing the most awful damage. So it's coming. Next year we'll see more of it, more of them. But in the end, it's a good thing, this Advent, this coming, this apocalypse, this revealing. It had to happen eventually, and now is the time.